I'm a bit of a writer who's taken to TikTok because, heck, multimedia is fun. One of my favorite quotes is, "If they wanted you to write more warmly about them, they should have behaved better." My apologies up front to my sister because I'm going to tell a story about one of our aunts with whom she gets along. For me, it's a different story. I haven't spoken to the woman since this happened. If you've watched my recent video with Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night on the beginning, you'll know that I struggled with feelings of wanting to unalive myself and pretty crappy self-esteem. So when I won a scholarship trip to Germany, it was part of a national contest based on an examination, and I had to go get like 99% on the test and then go through like a competition in my own state to win the state seat. When I won that, it was probably the biggest accomplishment of my life and a real self-esteem booster. The summer after I went to Germany, my host sister came to visit us. I didn't want her to. I knew what she'd be facing. If you've seen my TikToks about how we couldn't have friends over and the conditions of it and how nobody came back, you'll know that I was dreading having my host sister visit. But my parents tried to make it fun, and one of the places we went was up north to the cabin of my aunt and uncle. Now, my aunt had never heard about this trip, and so while we were visiting in the cabin, she asked me to tell her about how I'd gotten this trip, and so I basically told her what I just told you. And here's what she said.
Has it ever occurred to you that when you tell people this story, you sound like such a braggart? Maybe you should get a little bit of humility, Katie.
She was a public school teacher, and this wounded me. I was still crying about it up in the loft later that night, and my mom and dad came upstairs pissed off at me. No, they did not say, "You poor thing, we're really sorry that your aunt said it to you." They defended everything she said and piled it on. I think it lasted for 2 hours. They ripped me a new hole in myself. My host sister was there the whole time, and she was crying too. And we both wept, cried ourselves to bed in that cabin that night. I was so embarrassed and humiliated that this could happen to me in front of her. Like, my family had no shame in demonstrating in front of her how much they couldn't stand me, didn't like me, thought I was shit. This aunt was the only feminist that I knew, and so I thought all feminists were bitches. Here's to you, Aunt Nancy. I hope you get the day you deserve.